Let's talk about the death of 26 years old Chijoke Egwatu, whose body was found on the 31st of January along the road in Festac, Lagos State. Chijoke was said to be a trader at a market in Idumota. He had a provision store where they said he opened his shop almost every day of the week. However, on the 29th of January 2022, it was said that Chijoke closed his shop earlier than usual after getting so many phone calls from his boss and master, one Mr. Chika Umofia. According to his friends at the market, they said that Chijoke told them that he was going to put on the gen for his boss. And that was the last time they saw him. The next day on a Monday, they said Chijoke did not show up to the market. They kept calling his phone number, but the phone number wasn't going through. They even tried to call his boss, but the boss's phone number also wasn't going through. And that was when his friends at the market knew that something was off. It was unlike Chijoke to not open his shop. Now, a little background on Chijoke. Chijoke was brought to Lagos by his boss, Mr. Chika Umofia, in 2009. In 2009, he was 13 or 14 years old. So it's unclear what he was brought to Lagos to do, but clearly he was brought to serve his master. Some sources say that the master was also a trader and he helped shade in the master's shop. So for 12 years or for 13 years, Chijoke served his master. It was now later confirmed that last year in 2021, Chijoke's apprenticeship ended. This is after 13 years, and the master paid him off with the sum of 500,000 naira, which most people are saying is very poor for someone who dedicated 13 years of his life to serving his master. But Chijoke was contented with it. There's not much he can do. He had his shop, he got paid, and they said he was also in the middle of moving into his new apartment before he tragically died. Which means at the time he went missing, he was still staying with his boss, Mr. Chika Umofia. So what happened to Chijoke the day he went home to put on the generator for his boss? How did he go from turning on a generator to being found dead along the streets of Festac? So after a few days, Chijoke had still not returned to the shop in the market, and his friends in the market were already very worried. They called the boss, Mr. Chika, and the man's phone number wasn't going through. Eventually, they were able to reach Mr. Chika's son, and it was that one that picked the call and came to the market to talk to the people in the market. And they asked him where Chijoke was, and the guy said he did not know where Chijoke was, that Chijoke had moved into his own apartment, and that they had not seen him since the Sunday that the market people also last saw him. So the people in the market were like, okay, Chijoke is missing then, so you guys that he lived with for almost 13 years should go to the police and report. Some people in the market also offered to escort the guy to the police station so that they could make reports that Chijoke was missing. But the boss's son said, okay, that they shouldn't worry, that he was going to go to the police station to report and he would come back and give them the feedback. And they were like, fine, no problem. Before they know it, they saw this boy bringing out keys, attempting to open Chijoke's shop that had been locked since Sunday that Chijoke went missing. And that was when they stopped him and asked him how he got Chijoke's keys. After all, you haven't seen him since Sunday, and after all, you claimed he wasn't living with you people anymore, which means he was living in his apartment. So how did you get his keys? It's unclear what answers the boy gave, but it was said that the people in the market prevented him from opening Chijoke's shop and encouraged him to go and report to the police that Chijoke was missing. And then the guy left the market. As he left, people in the market began connecting one or two dots. They recalled that Chijoke had been in an abusive situation in his boss's house. One particular woman in the market recalled seeing Chijoke on a Thursday with serious bruises on his face, and when she asked him what happened to him on his face, Chijoke told her not to worry, that it was nothing. Other market people began expressing how Chijoke had told them that he was being abused at home, how his boss and the children of his boss were always starting trouble with him. It was at this point that the people in the market began suspecting the boss and the children of the boss, saying that they have a history of being violent towards Chijoke. That was when some people in the market decided that they were going to go to the boss's house to go and see for themselves if Chijoke was there or if he was held captive. But along the line, they decided to go to the police station first to make reports that Chijoke, a fellow market mate, was missing. When they got to the police station, they reported the case and the police asked them for a picture of Chijoke, which they tendered to the police. When the police saw the picture of Chijoke, they said the police shook his head and then brought out a photograph of Chijoke's corpse that they had found a few days ago along the roads of Festac. The market people saw the picture of Chijoke's corpse and confirmed that that was Chijoke. The police then informed them that they saw Chijoke's dead body on the road some days back and that they have been looking for people who knew him. The market people also learned that Chijoke's boss did not come to the police station to report that Chijoke was missing. Neither did any of his children who had lived with Chijoke for 13 years came to the police station to report that he was missing. It was said that the police instantly took charge of the case and they arrested Chijoke's boss along with 2 of his children. As it stands now, it's unclear where the case is, but the police say that it has been transferred to the homicide division and that they are the ones investigating the case, with Chijoke's boss and children in prison, supposedly. Many people believe it was the boss and the children of the boss that did this to this young man. Some people are saying that it could have been only the children of the boss because they might have been very jealous of Chijoke. They might have been jealous of the fact that Chijoke had his own business and also was given $500,000 to start up his life, even though that money was not worth all the time he spent serving his boss. And the police were able to confirm that Chijoke was not killed on that spot. They believe Chijoke had been killed somewhere else and his body was later dumped along the road. Examining the condition of his body, it was confirmed that Chijoke was beaten with several bruises on his body and eventually strangled to death. It's so unfortunate that you get to serve someone for 13 years while being mistreated, while being maltreated, while being constantly physically abused, and then the day you decide that you're going to move out and get your own peace, that is the day they decide to take your life. Chijoke deserved better. He did not deserve to die the way he did. It was said that he was the only child of his parents back in the village, and he was basically taking care of his people from the provision shop he managed. His friends in the market were the only family that he had, were the only people who stood up to fight for him. If not for these people here, Chijoke's body would have been another unidentified body in the morgue. His story would have been erased. Apparently, I think the boss and the children thought no one knew him. They probably thought no one would fight for him. They probably thought since his people were not in Lagos, they could easily kill him and get away with it, and then take everything that the young man has worked for. But thanks to the friends he had in the market, thanks to the people in the market who looked out for him, this young man would stand the chance to get the justice he deserves. Like this video, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends. Let more people know about the story of Chijoke Egwatu.